Where Arven's story felt personal, emotional, and empowering, Nemona's story, much like a soggy vegetable, feels impersonal, condescending, and ultimately very offensive. Nemona is your main rival in this game, but from the very beginning she treats you more like her little sibling or even her pet. Before the game even starts, Nemona has already completed the Pokemon League challenge and is already a champion-level trainer, which she references constantly. In the beginning of the game, she takes it upon herself to shepherd you around the region, mostly so she can corner you into having battles with her. Before every battle, she makes it very clear that she's going to use a weak team specifically designed for you to keep up with. And after a couple of battles with her, she decides that your mission is going to be to finish the gym challenge so you can be strong enough for her to battle you whenever she wants with her real team. I really want to stress how bizarre this all is from the get-go. Right away, the game tells you that none of your victories against Nemona are valid because she's specifically trying to let you win, and the reason you need to do the gym challenge is so that you can be strong enough to act as a good training dummy for her. I'm not reading between the lines here, Nemona says all of this explicitly during the tutorial. Your role in this storyline is to play the pet and go to training classes so you can entertain a 16-year-old girl who, by the way, isn't real. But the game is really consistent about these 2 points. Before each gym, Nemona shows up to tell you how easy the gym is and how doable it should be for you, and how you need to just hurry up and beat it already so she can play with you for real. After a few gyms, she starts harassing members of the Pokemon League and tells them how important it is that you finish the challenge, and pretty soon you have some of the highest ranking trainers in the region basically putting out the red carpet for you, telling you to hurry up and beat everyone already. Eventually you do, and then you have an extremely anticlimactic boss fight and are unceremoniously given the title of champion. The storyline ends with Nemona asking you to promise to be her battling partner for life, and while the game gives you the option to say no, she won't actually let you leave until you say yes, which is the kind of thing you only see in psychological horror dating games. Look, lots of video games have stories that aren't that engaging. The standard for most games, especially games that focus on their gameplay, is to have a story that is either a series of excuses to justify having more levels, or having something to go on in the background that is tangentially related to what you're doing in the game. That's even traditionally what the gym challenge has been in past Pokemon games, just a checklist of bosses the player needs to beat to unlock new areas. But this isn't that. This storyline exclusively undermines all of the actions you take to complete it. Battles with Nemona don't count because she's not trying. Gym leaders are almost literally referred to as roadblocks and aren't considered a real challenge. The title of champion isn't unique, it's basically just a certification that something like a dozen other people already have. And ultimately, your reward for all of this is for Nemona to battle you more. That's not empowering or engaging, it's not even giving the player a good reason for what they're doing, it's just annoying and, honestly, dehumanizing. To be fair, that actually could make for a really interesting game, but in this case it runs counter to the game's core design philosophy. Every single other thing in this game is about giving the player freedom and allowing them to express their individuality. It makes no sense to then force players to do a storyline that's about turning you into another character's servant. What I find even more confusing about this is why the developers went out of their way to constantly tell players this entire section of the game is easy and not really worth their time. That's not exactly going to get players excited to do it, and it's not going to make them feel that accomplished for beating it. This is already the part of the game that features the least amount of new content, so I really don't see the logic of actively making it even less appealing. It's no wonder that most players avoided this part of the game until they had literally nothing else to do.